Welcome to the first episode of Family Life Cycle. Today we will be talking about the first stage, which is family founding stage. To make sure that I don't miss out on anything important, I also have the script with me. So at this phase, if you have had a white wedding, then children has not yet arrived and you are in what we call your honeymoon phase. This generally lasts for about 2 years, okay? And as a short, I will be giving out two things. The first one is how to keep your couple's relationship going strong, and the second one is parenting tips. Since at this phase children has not yet arrived, we will shift our focus to preparing for parenting. The first one with couples relationship. For those of you who prizes marriage and have thought about being married at some point of time in your life, to be married is a dream come true, right? We read in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18 and verse 22. It says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." The same goes for women as well. Finding your life partner is finding a companion for a lifetime. This itself should bring you great joy and fulfillment. Well, for some of you, you might have known each other for quite a long period of time, whereas for some, you might have just courted for a short period of time and got married. So, whichever be the case, getting to know someone or knowing each other before marriage and knowing each other after marriage can be quite different, okay? Because after marriage, as husband and wife, now you eat, you sleep together, and then you live under the same roof, isn't it? So your real self will begin to show up. Let me share a story. So after the wedding, the wife and the husband, they retired from all the hectic things to do, and at night what happened was the wife, she sat near the dressing table, she took off her wig and her lens, and in the meantime the husband was walking up and down the corridor smoking. Okay, so this story depicts that the wife, she doesn't have hair, so she wears wig and her eyesight is poor. In the daylight, she can go about like that with those masks, okay? But then eventually at night, as she retires in her home, she has to be her real self, isn't it? Or even the husband, he is a chain smoker and habitually he smokes like that at night, okay, walking up and down the corridor. But other people outside home doesn't know that he does that habitually. As I've been sharing, we begin to see who our partner is, who our spouse really is after marriage. Therefore, it can be two different things, getting to know someone before marriage and after marriage. And so once you're married and you're in this phase, then your goal as a couple should be to build intimacy at in a more deeper level, okay? And this should be holistic. You should be building your intimacy, getting to know more about each other in all areas: physical, emotional, social, as well as spiritual, okay? Now we also see a very interesting Bible verse to do with newly married couples. We see this in Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 5. It says, "When a man has taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war or be charged with any business. He shall be free at home 1 year and bring happiness to his wife whom he has taken. Very interesting, isn't it? So after you get married, you should be making a point, make it a priority that you really take time to build intimacy with one another, because your relationship as a couple, your foundation is going to be something that you know through which your family life is going to be built. Okay, now those of you who have been in long distance relationship, you know how precious it is just to see one another once in a while, right? Or forget about long distance relationship. Even for couples who stay in the same town before marriage, going for a date or just being in the presence of one another in a group of people, that brings so much joy. So definitely after marriage, in your honeymoon phase, you should be very happy that you have finally got to marry each other, and utilize those time to really build your relationship, build your communication, your trust, and being vulnerable with one another. Okay, so those are some things that I wanted to share about couples relationship. Now, coming to the second point and preparing for parenthood, the first thing that I would say is, since in this generation all of us are educated, we should be utilizing this time to invest in good resources about parenting. So this could be like reading good books on parenting, or watching videos, like the possibilities are endless these days. So make ways to equip yourself to gain more knowledge and prepare yourself for parenting. Because after children arrives, life just goes on, okay? Life will be hectic, and you will be busy with this and that, and there won't be enough time. There won't be time like in your honeymoon phase to prepare again for parenthood. So before children arrives, it's good that you get yourself prepared for that phase. Now the second thing is, this is also time where you will conceive. Okay, so you will go through pregnancy in your family founding stage. Now, before we talk about normal pregnancy, I would also like to just acknowledge that more than in the past decades, today we have many couples who are facing issues with conception. And so sometimes it's because of the women, sometimes it's because of the man. So we don't know until and unless we go for medical checkups, we don't know why we have those complications or those issues. It could be, as I've just mentioned, it could be from the women's side or from the man's side. So whichever be the case, you will have to go through that phase together as a team. Now, I'm not a medical expert in this field, so I don't have much to say. But yes, of course, with medical advancements, couples facing these issues can go for fertility medications, or you can opt for IVF, surrogacy, adoption, and things like that. There are options, okay? So you should be fighting through these challenges as a team, as I've also mentioned in that premarital counseling parenting episode. You should be doing this as a team. Now, coming to normal pregnancy, from conception till birth, this takes from 38 weeks to 42 weeks, and women go through 3 trimesters. So the first 3 months are called the first trimester, and this is the phase where women go through morning sickness. We have nausea, and then in some cases, some women, they don't like their husband, they don't like to be around them. That does happen. some have food cravings, some they cannot eat at all. So women face different kind of issues at this phase, okay? And coming to the second trimester, which is from fourth, fifth, and sixth month, this is probably the most comfortable phase compared to the first and the third trimester, because by then your nausea, or yeah, women nausea and morning sicknesses, this will come down or disappear completely, and you won't be having baby bumps that shows off, no? So this is the most comfortable phase. Coming to the third trimester, the seventh, eighth, and ninth month, once again the discomforts will show up, because the baby bump will become more prominent and women cannot sleep comfortably, we cannot move as we want, the body becomes heavy, and because of the weight and yeah, things like that, women do have face difficulties in this time as well. And so what women need from their husband is support, right? So no matter how loving you are and how much you love your wife, we do know that um, you cannot take the place of becoming pregnant, isn't it? Naturally, women are the one who will need to become pregnant and go through these discomforts and difficulties. And women do have and face physical as well as emotional changes. And therefore, your support, your part as a husband is really very much needed for your wives, okay? I will share 7 tips how you can show this. The first one is accompanying your wife for regular checkups whenever you can, okay? So we know that unlike olden days, these days, once you get pregnant, you have to be visiting your gynae every month and every once in a while. And these checkups and medications have become very important. Therefore, it will be really nice if you can accompany them. They will feel loved and supported. The second tip is helping in household chores, okay? So when women have nausea, or like in their third trimester when they have difficulty because of their weight and yeah, mood swings and things like that, it will really speak out to them when you help them in these ways. Then the third one is fulfilling their food cravings. We know that many women have different kinds of food cravings during their pregnancy, so be sensitive about that, and also make a point that you provide your wives nutritional food. Of course, most men do this, but I'm just reiterating it again. Then the fourth one is being more patient and understanding with your wives, okay? Understand that they are having many changes in their body. And the fifth one is giving them time to rest, and also packing for the hospital bag for delivery. Now we know that unlike olden days, almost every woman gives birth in hospitals, so this should come in, right? Like this should be a common sense for every man to help out the women in packing the hospital bags for delivery, okay? The other thing is communicating about birth plans. So talk with your wife about the kind of births that they prefer to have, whether they want to go for normal delivery or they prefer C-section, okay? So those are some things that you can talk about, even though in the last moment we don't know what would happen. So, but then still then you can talk about it, right? Then finally and most importantly, make sure that you support your wives through your prayers. Pray with them, pray for their health, for their delivery, and for the baby too, okay? So those are some practical ways how husbands can make wives feel supported and loved through this phase of pregnancy. And the last point that I want to share about is to be sensitive that the life of a baby does not begin after birth, but life begins in the womb, right? And so the environment is very important for the growth of the baby. The baby inside the womb can hear and they can feel the emotions of their mothers, okay? So it's important that the mother is having a stress-free life. Of course, like we cannot be living in 100% stress-free environment, but whatever can be done to minimize stress, you can work on that, you can think about that, and see that you are in a kind of environment which is healthy, okay? So those are some things that women can do and men can also support, okay? And with this, I think, yeah, I've come to the end of this first episode, and in the upcoming episode we will be talking about child rearing phase. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next week in the next video. Thank you.